Hey, how you doing? Harold S. Reed Jr. here. Listen, I want to share a very special video with you. I had the opportunity and privilege to be interviewed by my brother LaShawn Suga Ray Marston, and this was for his 300th episode of his podcast, SR Daily, and we had a ball. We had a good time. It was at Ben & Jerry's in West New York, New Jersey. And yes, there is a place called West New York in New Jersey. And we had a great, like I said, we had a great time, other people there, but I just wanted to share with you the time that he and I spent together talking about my new book and how we got together, how we met. And I think we had a really good time, and I just want to share that with you. So enjoy.
Next up, good brother of mine. I think I've known him longer than anybody else in this space right now, about 15 years. It did not start off great, but we're going to get into that. Brother Harold R. Reed Jr., what's going on, my brother? What's going on, good brother? Peace and love, peace and love. We stand up, do it right, my brother. My bad. What's going on? Have a seat.
Chill it.
Peace and love, peace and love. Please tell me this toast, my brother.
Please do, please.
Yes, sir, I got you. You want so two of them, so they're different. I mean, pick one. So got you. Give me my favorite one. So it's just 3 ingredients: sparkling white tea, cranberry and ginger, 0 alcohol. You guys know I don't drink alcohol anymore. Like you up, got it? Get into it.
I've been seeing you promoting this for a couple of years now.
Yeah, no, I've been locked in. Cheers, my brother. Oh man, where's your man?
Oh, I'm sorry. Listen, I told you when I got here, I'm used to being up this early. I'm not used to being out the house this early.
Yo,
cheers
to brotherhood,
absolutely.
Cheers to friendship, cheers to accountability, and cheers to understanding.
Absolutely. Understanding
is key.
We're gonna get into that.
So, I mean, again, this brother is an accomplished author. He's an accomplished coach. He's a motivational speaker. I've been watching him. I've been following him. I got a couple of.
I got to correct you myself.
Yeah.
My middle initial is S.
S. I know. I said R.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So
because it's HRJR. So right. Yeah, Harold Reed. Yeah, my bad. So Harold S. Reed, right, Jr. But no, he is absolutely phenomenal, man. His words hit like they punch, right? But it's with love, right? Again, as someone who we didn't start out the best, but me. Always focused on my growth, right? I was able to hear him, right? His perspective is like, okay, I gotta take that, right? But thank you for all the work that you do. Thank you for all that you are.
Right? A little bit, cutting you off.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yep. Yes, sir. So let's get into it, brother. You are, you wear many hats. You wore many hats, right? Husband, father.
Still wear those.
Yeah. Leader, right? I know that, you're leading a family.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. People come to you for guidance.
Yeah, okay. I'll take
right? People come to you for guidance. And you take no nonsense. That's leadership. You don't bend how you are to soothe people. You're like, no, this is where I'm at. This is where I'm going. And if you want to go, you can go this way, or you can go your own way. Right? So, because there's so much to talk about. I want to get into how we met. How do we connect? And you mentioned that on your Facebook page. We're going to get into that. So talk about that. 15 years ago, 2010. I'll never forget the day, November 19th, 2010. Black Special Theater in Queens, New York. First annual King Award, Man of Excellence.
Yes.
You were the moderator.
The host, yes.
You were the host.
Yes.
You were the host. I was an award recipient.
Yes.
I got to get my award.
Yes.
It didn't happen.
Okay, so here's what he didn't know at the time. We were pressed for time. So the people who were in my ear behind the scenes would let me know if someone would be allowed to give a couple words. If I didn't get the signal, they didn't get to have a couple words. So I think 2 people before you got up to say a couple words. So when you were called to come get your award, you I'd like to say a couple words, and I just said, no,
straight like that.
He was like, you serious?
Yeah, man, go sit down.
Go sit down.
I was so mad.
And he was heated. So like, doing the thing, whatever. And so when I stepped away from the stage, because somebody else was talking or performing or whatever, my wife pulled me to the side. It was like, I think we're gonna have trouble when we leave here. What are you talking about? Like that guy you didn't let speak, he's sitting over there and he's mad. He looked like he wanted to do something. Ain't nothing gonna happen, baby. Nothing gonna happen. So nothing happened that night. And I think like maybe a couple weeks later or whatever, we hooked up on Facebook and we just started chatting it out. And I had explained to you, we were pressed for time. It wasn't nothing personal, but I had to keep things moving. And here's the thing that you didn't know. I had never done anything like that before.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that. It's International Men's Day. And shout out to our sister Kathleen.
Yep, Kathleen
Williams, who he had faith enough in me, in my presentation ability to do that. Because again, I had never done that before.
Yeah.
So public speaker, yes, I'm good with that, but I'd never hosted anything before. I just got upset what I had to say and got out. So being in that position, and people gonna laugh at me, people gonna say whatever they're gonna say, but this is where my head was in 2010, when this particular person was still relatively popular. In my mind, I channeled my inner Steve Harvey. I just kept Steve Harvey on the Apollo, Steve Harvey on whatever he hosted or whatever. So that was kind of how I carried myself to get through that. And it was, there were I can't remember any mistakes. As a matter of fact, the only hiccup, if anything, was you.
That, yeah.
but like I said, it's 15 years, and when we talk about it, as you can see, we're laughing about it now, and that's how we as men should be. Even if we don't start off on the right foot, we got another foot.
100%.
We got a left foot, so we take one step, then we take another step, and then we walk in together.
100%. And again, that was a testament to understanding, right? Because we communicated.
Because you explained to me that you had lost somebody.
Yeah, so the week before, one of my best friends that got killed, a merchant marine, he was home for vacation for 2 days, went to the club with his brother, he got shot and killed. Right? So I was brokenhearted. And I seen him the night, like he told me to come to the club. I was like, nah, I gotta go home. I have to do a workshop the next morning. And so that day, there was a funeral. I chose not to go to the funeral because I said, all right, if I go get this award, the award would be in his honor. And so when I spoke to Kathleen, she said I can have a few moments to speak. And I said, I just want to honor my friend. I said, I don't want to say thank you to you. And I just want to acknowledge my friend. I don't want to take too much time. Right? And so when you said no, I was like, wait, she said.
Kathleen ain't giving me the signal.
No, and I got that. Right? And I mean, obviously, I didn't stay up there harassing you.
Right.
But I was upset because, again, I chose to come here instead of my friend's funeral.
My wife was afraid you was going to be Will Smith before Will Smith.
I told my lady, the wife was sitting right there. I had no idea. No idea. But, all right, now, fast forward, 15 years later, here we are. Since then, that was your first time hosting something like that. You've done so much since then. You've authored 4 or 5 books? 5 books.
5 now.
5 now, right? 5 books. New book just dropped.
Yes, please.
Right? Be savage, not average. Right? You can check that out. Right? He'll give you the information on that. So talk about that. Talk about how did you become an author of 5 books, and what does it take?
Wow. How much time we got? No, seriously.
You got 10 minutes.
Okay. How did I write 5 books? I put my experiences on paper. I put the lessons that I've learned and the experiences that came from those lessons. Some of them were, hey, this is great. Some of them were, but I figured, first of all, my first book was written when I was still relatively new as a cop. I'm a retired police officer.
Yep, I remember.
And my thinking was at that time, any given day I kiss my wife and kid goodbye is the day that I'm kissing my wife and kid goodbye. Or could be a day that I'm kissing my wife and kid goodbye. And I didn't want my son, at that time I only had the one, now I have 2. I didn't want my son growing up with people saying, your father would have said this, your father would have wanted you, your father would have, And so I figured, at least with that first book, it started out as a letter to my son. And then, it was the funny thing, I had written about 80 pages and put them in a nice little 3-ring binder. And I went to my wife and I said, babe, I finished the book. And I showed her my little binder. Yeah, that's what the? You like stinking. But then I reflected and I was like, nothing that I read to that point was 80 pages of regular paper. So I went back to the lab, dug deeper, went into my notes, went into blogs that I had written, incorporated that. And next thing you know, I had a 250-something page manuscript.
Powerful.
And that's what I went to work with.
Powerful. Powerful. Five books later, how have you evolved? And how has your writing evolved?
This is going to sound funny, not necessarily perhaps in a good way. I think my writing has stayed the same in the sense that I'm talking about life topics that most people won't talk about. Like this book here, 11 Steps to Improve Accountability. This book right here, this was a hard book to write because I originally started writing this book 3 years ago. But my father had passed. And I needed time to process that. Because there's nobody on the face of this planet that's closer to me than my father. And I didn't have him anymore. And I had to come to terms with that. So within this book, what I had originally planned to write was not what this is. Because I realized when I was writing with anger. My title is Be Savage, Not Average. So I took that as license to just crap on paper. Whatever was pissing me off, that's what I wanted to put on paper. But that was good for me to put in my journal. That wasn't necessarily good for people who were looking for ways to improve themselves. So I put the pen down, put the paper down, put that file in the laptop, put that away, and just experienced dealing with not having my father. And what I realized was that my father didn't leave me, he became more.
Yes, sir.
I began seeing pictures of myself as a grown man, and it's like whenever somebody put a camera in front of me, my father said, "Go over there somewhere." Because I look just like people who are watching who know me. Now I got the grades. I look just like. I look just like my father. So I've also learned the power of letting go.
Talk about it, brother.
Things that would get me heated, that would get me like amped up and angry or whatever. It's not that important.
Powerful.
It's not that important.
Not that important. That inspired something. I'm gonna talk about you later. I want to do something together, do a project together. Okay. Right? Because we both lost our dad at different times, different points in our life. We both lost our dad. So many other black men have lost their father at times when they need them.
Absolutely.
Right? So I would like to talk about something. But going right along now, you as a father, as a husband, how important is your legacy? And what legacy are you building for your family? As a black man, specifically.
I want for my sons, well, I have two sons. One's 22, one's 15.
22 already.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, I'm 23 this year.
Insane.
But my 22-year-old is autistic. He was diagnosed at 2.5. So my wife and I have the blessing of basically having a child for life. Which on the one hand, I can look at all the things that he will not be able to do, he will not be able to experience, but who am I going to raise my fist at? God, that was God's plan. Maybe God wanted to spare my firstborn of all of the hate, the evil, and the bitterness in this world, and just have him surrounded by love 24/7. And my youngest son, he's 15, so he's goofy, as most 15-year-olds are, as I was, as you were, at 15 years old. But the legacy I want to leave behind for them is one in which they know their father was a man of integrity. They know how to carry. Well, my oldest son, he's always going to be with one of us, so he's going to be taken care of. And it might have been unfair to my younger son, but I've been telling him ever since he was 5 years old, you're gonna have to take care of your big brother one day. So we had him helping take care of him, you know. And so I want to leave behind a legacy of service, a legacy of honor, and a legacy of integrity. I want to be because I tell my son, because I don't have my father, and I was older having them than my father was having me. So one of my biggest fears is I'm not going to have as much time with them as my dad had with me. So my main goal is to be the example of what a man is.
Powerful, brother. And before we wrap up, it's our next guest. Where can folks get your book? How can folks support you? You are not only an author, you are a coach.
Yes.
You are a speaker.
Yes.
You wear multiple hats in that space of personal development, self-improvement. How can people book you? How can you find out about your services? How can you get your books?
Everyone can go to my website, www.coachhrjr.com. The homepage has a link where you can just go straight to order the book. Everything is on the site. You can pay through the site. It's all good. Technology is a wonderful thing. As far as I've been a certified professional life coach since 2009. I've helped a lot of people, and basically, I'll make this real quick. The difference between, say, a life coach and licensed therapy is, when I say licensed therapy or licensed counseling, I'm talking about psychologists, psychiatrists, clinical therapists, what have you. What they tend to, and I say this because I myself have experienced therapy once when I was very young, and the second time when I endeavored to leave and retire early from law enforcement. What the licensed counselors tend to do is they take you all the way back into your past to figure out what happened way back when to get you where you are now. As a life coach, I don't spend so much time in your past. I want to meet you where you are now. And we'll reference the past, but I want to meet you where we are now so that we can map the best trajectory for you to move forward. It's like when you're driving in a car, there's a reason why your windshield is larger than your rear view mirror. So you can focus on going forward, but every so often look back, make sure the boogeyman ain't catching up to you. I think that's the boogeyman. As opposed to,
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yo, my brother, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Congratulations on the 200 show.
Yo, thank you for being here. This is magical, man. We're here in New Jersey,
You gotta know this is love, man. It's 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm walking out the house, yo. Driving through traffic, 30-something degree weather, man.
Yo, appreciate you, man. It's our brother Harold Ray Jr. Once again, check out his website, HRJR.com. Check out his books, the services, man. He's the real deal.
Shout out to my wife too.
Shout out to your wife.
Shout out to the brothers of Group 5 Group Social Fellowship Incorporated. Shout out to the sisters of Swing by Swing Social Fellowship Incorporated. All my friends and family who supported me and watch now or will watch the replay. Love you. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you, brother. Oh, shout out to my coach, my mentor, Dr. Delco McNeil, and my inner circle, and my cohort, because they really helped me get through that hard time as well. So, thank you for having me, brother.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you. Yes, sir. Sit around, hang out.
Drink my toast.
Yes, sir.